All right, folks. Welcome to Nino's Corner Entertainment Edition. The Entertainment Edition. I'm with 𝗬𝗻𝗶𝗀 from the Epic Times. She covers entertainment over there. Lots of things happening right now. A lot of hot subjects happening right now. And my favorite, boxing. Ryan Garcia. Now, I've talked about Ryan Garcia quite a bit. And I've said he's him and Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia, the Ryan Garcia Jake Paul effect that they've had on boxing through social media. Here's my point of view in this before we get started. When you have all the celebrity fame and you have everything you want before you even win a belt, there's no reason to really get up at 5 in the morning, go run those 6, 7 miles, go run those sprints when you already have the celebrity status. Social media, to me, has been a detriment to boxing in a lot of ways. It's taken the mystique and aura away from great fighters. It used to be a mystery when two fighters got in the ring. You would only see them at the press conference. You would see them at the weigh-in. You wouldn't know what they're doing. You would hear some trash talking here and there. But now it's just diarrhea all over the social media, all over the internet. And it's like to me, it's although it's entertaining, it's destroyed the mystique and aura of boxing and even MMA. So from when I was coming up in boxing, we had Facebook maybe, but after Instagram and everything else and X and the whole thing, it changed the game. It changed everything. It changed every facet of our lives, honestly, entertainment, politics, sports, everything. So let's get into this. You hit me up and you were saying that Ryan Garcia now is in. We've all known he's been having big meltdowns. What's going on with him? What you sent me some things here that I'm trying to make sense out of from his lawyer.
From his lawyer, correct. So, Ryan, it started out a couple of months ago, like right before the fight. He was posting really crazy stuff. You and I have talked about this here on your show, posting things about Bohemian Grove, about uh elites, about this, about that. Well, he got arrested. We talked about that when he got arrested for damages. And then right after he got arrested, he went on Twitter, not really the smartest thing, and he said, "No way I'm going to jail." And I thought that was a little, anyone who's involved in any kind of legal case, the first thing your lawyer tells you is don't post on social media. Don't post anything good. Don't post anything bad. Just don't
But hold on,
post.
𝗪𝗓.
Stay.
This is how this kid made it in the first place. So he is, he made it on social media way before
Yeah.
he made it in boxing. So telling him to say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. This kid's never going to stay away from social media.
I don't think he will either because he goes on live streams. He posts random things on Twitter, on Instagram, and millions of views, right? It's is make money that way too. Social media, a lot
That's
of
my
people
point,
do.
Jess.
So,
That's my
right,
point. Why do you need to
right.
fight? Why do you need to box? Why do you need to get in the ring and get your face beat in when you're already getting all the attention you want every time you post?
Right. And, I think part of it, though, is you see these videos of him when he was younger and he's from, 12 years old talking about how he wanted to be a world champion boxer and he's been training for this his whole life. Now, you're looking at right now, they came out, Gascon in the district attorney in Los Angeles came out with formal charges. They're misdemeanor charges for vandalism over $400. Allegedly, it was $15,000 worth of damages that he did at the Waldorf Astoria. But that number hasn't been confirmed. And he said, we're charging him. It's a misdemeanor. He's facing up to 1 year in county jail. I don't think he's going to go to county jail for vandalism. If you know anything about LA, their county is so overcrowded, right? They're letting people out who are, getting, alcohol and drug treatment. They're sending them there instead of going to jail. People who need help, they're going to therapy instead. They've got all these different diversion tactics to try to keep the jail population at a minimum. So I don't think he's going to go to jail. But the statement, you have it right here saying that Gascon says that they're happy that there's no injuries. But here's the quote: reckless behavior that damages property shows a blatant and unacceptable disregard for the safety and peace of our community. Now, I want to ask you something. You had a huge career in boxing. when your hands are that lethal, getting into a situation like that where you're causing physical damage, although right now it's just to inanimate objects. What do you think about that?
See, I don't know. I mean,
Is this escalating? I think it's escalating.
it's absolutely escalating. You know, alcohol does a lot of damage to the brain, and I don't know what drugs he's on. I don't know what he's taking, if he is.
Right.
But he's in a very, very serious situation. He needs to see. There's a difference between somebody checking you into rehab and you checking in yourself, saying, you know what, you coming to terms with it and saying, I need to do this myself. I don't know
Sure.
what's going on. Are they checking him in as like, okay, look, let's make a deal here type of thing? Because there's a huge difference in that. You got to want to change yourself. Listen, I was in the same boat as Ryan as a heavyweight, and I self-destructed. So I know exactly what this kid's going through. The immense pressure and expectations that is on this kid and his soul is only so very few people can take it. You know, like Oscar De La Hoya was able to take it, Canelo took it, but they still kind of missed the social media craze. Ryan Garcia was made by social media, so he lived by the sword, die by the sword. He needs to have a complete detox from not only alcohol and whatever else he's taking. He needs a detox from social media. They need to take this away from him, and if he wants to get serious about the sport again, stay away from social media. Have someone
Well,
else run.
he did. Did you see the apology video he posted on Instagram? I'm not sure if it's still up there, but he says, I apologize to anybody that I hurt or anybody that
Yeah,
I
but it
let
doesn't
down.
matter because he goes
And he
back and
said,
does it again.
he said, I'm going to rehab. And then that was like 2 weeks ago. So he has not been to rehab. So I think he knows that he has a problem, but also a lot of the rehabs are strict and they'll have a 30-day no social media, no phones, right? You can only make the phone calls that we monitor to make sure that you're being safe, correct? I mean,
Well,
it depends on the rehab that you go to. I don't
look,
know.
I was an alcoholic. I was an addict. Okay, and that went hand in hand with boxing. Boxing is very self-destructive,
Mm,
and I got to say that for me, 30 days, you're just getting started. That's just the first step.
right.
You know, I've been sober now 40 years, 7 months, so I can speak on this. And I gotta say, I cannot believe I've finally come to I'm here now. I'm actually the sober guy that can speak on this, which is unbelievable. Believe me. Um, he's got to want it, Jess. He's got to want it himself. And I don't know if you got to hit, everyone has their own rock bottom. And I don't know if this guy's hit his rock bottom. I mean, it could be a few years in jail, it could be a near death experience. For me, I had two near death experiences, and it still didn't stop me. It wasn't until I realized my life was going nowhere, and I went from champ to chump, and I was a washed up fighter that I realized I needed to change my life. But that took 10 years of transformation. So this kid's young. If he puts it in his mind right now that he can change, he can. I'm not saying anything's possible, and I really hope the best for him. But
Me
the
too.
way he's going is like we're watching a train wreck, a slow motion train wreck.
But we have seen this many times before with several other celebrities where it's kind of a reality TV situation where we see people like Amanda Bynes, like Lindsay Lohan, where people don't want to look away. They're watching it. It's kind of entertaining, but it's somebody's life that they're going through. And then they hit rock bottom and everyone goes, why were you making fun of them? Why were you making a spectacle about them? Because that's what the internet does. That's the nature of the internet right now.
That's his whole MO. He loves the internet.
And one of the things that you said is he has to hit rock bottom. Now, you would think first being kicked out of the New York, what was it? We have all of these things here before testing positive, right, for substances. The World Boxing Council kicked him out.
Yeah, I mean that's huge, which I don't think
The
they have a
world,
right to do.
right.
I
And
think
then
they should. Yeah.
also the New York State Athletic Commission kicked him out for testing positive for performance enhancing drugs. Those were two separate incidents. And so you would think for someone who's been training their whole life that would be a rock bottom or then getting arrested. But sometimes it really does take a coming to God moment for people, and everyone's rock bottom, as you said, is very different. Now, I did, of course, reach out. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't reach out to Ryan. And I did hear back from his attorney. So I'm going to read you the email that his attorney sent me.
Okay.
This is from Michael Goldstein, who is Ryan Garcia's one of his attorneys. He wrote, Ryan regrets his recent behavior at the Waldorf Astoria and the property damage he caused. He has apologized to hotel personnel and has reimbursed them for all damages caused. Past several months have been difficult for Ryan, and he understands he has reached a crossroads in both his personal life and career. Going forward, he knows the focus must be on his well-being and mental health issues, which have been strained. There is no alternative. He apologizes to anyone he has offended with his behavior and words, and hopes the investment in his own well-being will demonstrate the sincerity of his apology. With regard to the pending misdemeanor criminal matter, we expect to reach a resolution that recognizes his immediate reimbursement, his personal issues, and lack of past criminal history. Ryan appreciates the love and support that he has received and hopes to remain in your prayers. And that is a very well, if you know anything about PR, especially celebrity PR, that is a very well-crafted PR response. They address the issue, they talk about the resolution, and they talk about where Ryan is at. So they kind of cover it. They didn't deny it. They accepted it. They hit it head on. It is a very well-crafted response.
You know,
I hope he gets help. He needs help. He has, it looks to me, as soon as he was charged, right? The charges came out. Gascon posted that, as you put it up on the Los Angeles District Attorney website. And about 2 hours after that, he went live on TikTok. He was laying in bed with a guy, one of his friends, and they were just like, you know, people are sending him hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of TikTok gifts. Just constantly gifts, galaxies, this, that.
He doesn't need to fight.
Thousands and thousands of coins. And there are like 4 other guys just standing around the bed watching him on live. And I'm going, these people, from on the outside looking in, as someone who is not part of the boxing world, who is not a celebrity, it looks like these people are using you. You know, they want you know, and that's a lot of things that happen when we hear this with celebrities. You got these yes men around you telling you you're the greatest, telling you're the best. We'll get you this alcohol. We'll get you this girl. But, you know, in return, you bring them along with you into the fame. You know, they get their face in the paper. They get to have all the hotel suites they want for free. They get to go to the Caribbean. They get to go here and there and travel around. And, oh, that's Ryan Garcia's best friend. Let's hook him up. Let's hook him up. He's part of their crew.
I had those friends.
It's sad that people, there's no one around him that's going, this is bad. Get off live stream. You're ruining your life. You're going to, or you're on a spiral. You've admitted you're on a spiral. You posted an apology video and you keep going live.
Yeah, I had those friends and they're all gone now as soon as I lost.
Yeah.
You want to know when you are the 2 biggest names in the division? I want to see it again. Yeah. I want to see it again now, and I want to see it with no dehydration problems. But you are cocky too. You tried to peg him with the lead hook. Mate, all the respect in the world to you. You're the future. The future is staying. And I'm watching you all the way.
You know, Connor's also, you know, he's a drunk himself, man. I mean, this guy is sitting there. He wants to be in the limelight so bad he can't stand anybody else stealing it from him. So he's going through his own issues. You know what I mean? So that's what I see here with Connor. You know, Connor, the fact that Connor was like the face of MMA. He even got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather for, it looked like an exhibition fight to me. But, you know, Connor also, you got to remember, Connor can't stand the limelight away from him. So watching these young bucks come up, and I even think De La Hoya is suffering from the same ego blow. Like De La Hoya still wants to be the man, and that's why he has problems with these fighters like Ryan Garcia and Canelo, and he still wants to be the golden boy, you know? So, you know, the most egotistical sport, the most egotistical business you can be in is boxing and MMA, right? But for me being on this side of the spectrum now, I can see it all so clear. Hindsight's 2020. And I just look at it as all just being so pathetic now. I especially with what happened to me, I lost all my friends. I had 30, 40 people that were always at my fights, that were always at my after parties, that, hey, champ, hey, buddy, hey, you know, and I thought I had real friends. And then until the very end, when I finally lost and it was over, I had maybe 3 left, maybe 2. I mean, it's devastating. It's definitely, and I see Ryan going that direction. I see Ryan going into a death, a spiritual death that it's gonna be very hard to come out of. Right now, he's 25. He's on top of the world. He has all the time in the world in his mind. 5 years are gonna go whap like that, and he'll be 30. 5 more years will go whap, and he'll be 35, and it's over. 30 to 35 for a fighter is old.
Your career's over by that time, huh?
Yeah,
That's the life
I
of
mean,
an
you're on
athlete. And if
borrowed
you
time.
don't, I guess you see people like, Serena Williams, the people who have longevity because they're doing these deals with brands. They're making their own brands. They're coming out with their own products. They're investing. They're investing in other players. They've got things outside of just being that sport figure. I think one of the things that Ryan is, people have started online calling him out for a few things, because before it was just like, oh, he's saying this because they kidnapped him at Bohemian Grove, and this is all them trying to shut down Ryan. There's all these
I don't even
conspiracy
believe
theories.
that, Jess.
But
I
in
don't even believe
reality,
it.
but in reality, it's just someone going. Now, one thing I think I sent you
I think he just
that I
wants
saw was
attention,
when
and
he was one of
he'll
the
say
things that got him
he'll
kicked
say anything to get attention. That's what I think. I think
for
that's this
sure.
kid. Yeah.
And I'm not denying anything at Bohemian Grove, but I'm just saying that a lot of times you can't blame everything on something that hasn't been proven, because for months and months and months he's saying he's going to expose people, and we haven't seen anything. He hasn't exposed anything except, one of the things that also happened was when the World Boxing Council, yeeted him. I don't know what is not what the kids say when they kicked him out.
Yeah,
One of the
expelled
things,
him.
and I was watching this live stream happen, is he was saying the N word over and over with a hard ER over and over and over again, and bashing Muslims. And people went, yeah, that's a little too far, Ryan. And so from that, we saw that he started dating Malu, who was a social media TikToker, who was also a Hispanic woman saying the N word and wearing, she was accused of blackface and black fishing or whatever, just tanning. I don't even know what that is, but she's been accused of a lot of things. So he's saying she's my girlfriend, and I'm like, wait, we have these two people who are can't keep it
hold on,
together.
Jess. Hold on, Jess. He also, so I just had Ibn Ali on, Muhammad Ali's nephew, okay, and he sent a strong message to Ryan Garcia. He said, you can't sit here and proclaim Jesus Christ and that you're a Christian when you're doing everything opposite of that.
Right.
Everything, all your actions is opposite. You can't get up there and praise God and say you have a gift from God and Jesus Christ is King when everything you do is opposite of what you're of praising the Lord. You got to walk the walk, and it's very bad for. It looks terrible. It looks terrible, especially. I'm gonna play just a little bit of this because I know there's some strong language in here, but let's just commentate through it, okay?
Okay.
You supposed to hit your chest and throw up the peace sign. That means you want
you
to
know what
buzz.
I said niggas are word the ER word, but niggas to the ER. No, you didn't hear that.
Can you say? I no. Can you say it again?
Okay, our word about saying the ER word or saying to the ER.
That's crazy. That's crazy work. You're absolutely right, though.
Bro, am I wrong?
You're not.
No, you are right, bro.
I'm gonna repeat it one more time.
I think you should repeat it 2 more times.
Wait. So a black man blanked me, and it's okay. Everyone acts like it. So wait a minute. He's admitting that here. I didn't even know about this. Can't say the word on here, but wow.
Yeah, no, I see that, but I don't.
I mean, he's letting it all.
I don't.
out.
This is between his live stream where he was saying that word that he should not be saying, in my opinion. I don't think.
Okay,
he has a right to say that word.
So wait a
And
minute.
then he hooks up with Malu right after his divorce. She's also said that word. She's been accused of blackface. It's not a good combination. No one is looking out for this kid. He just needs a lot of help. And after that, what happened was when he started saying that, people started digging on Twitter, as they do. And they found an old video from when Malu was, I think she was 16 or 17, and Ryan was like 19. And he was in her DMs.
I saw
and
that.
they called him a P3DO, and he said, how can I be that? Because she's my girlfriend now. They said, well,
Oh,
you're
geez.
a groomer. And he goes, well, but she's my girlfriend, so I can't be a groomer.
Yeah.
This is
But-
a big problem for me.
Okay, but hold on. Ryan here says, so a black man blank me and it's okay and everyone acts like it never happened. So is that what he's using for an excuse for using that for after he said all the N-word and all that? Is he now saying, well, wait a second, it's because I got a black man
R-word.
blanked me?
Yeah.
Is that what it is now? He's coming back with that.
I
to
don't know.
Say
You know
almost
what?
like
I have
the
no idea
right
what's
to say
going.
it. Look, man, this kid's a train wreck. I mean, I feel so bad for him, and I really, in my mind, honestly, Jessamine, I don't believe anything's possible. If he does believe in Jesus Christ, there's always miracles that can be done. But the route he's going, I don't see him coming back, especially if the WBC expelled him. I don't see how he's going to bounce back from this. It seems to me like he's going all in, and he's going to continue this type of behavior, in my opinion.
Well, it is really, really sad because it's only going to end one of two ways. He's going to have a come to God moment where he realizes that he is on the wrong track. I think he realizes that, but he actually takes that step to go get help. And he actually starts weeding out the people around him. Or, you know, something very unfortunate is going to happen. And I do hope that he is okay. And we want to pray for him because, you know, having your life on the world stage on a spectacle, like I said, we've seen this with Amanda Bynes, we've seen this with Britney Spears, we've seen this with Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan, thank God. Robert Downey Jr., you know, this was before social media, but I was old enough to remember every day waking up in the paper and seeing something about him. Look at how far he's come. You just need to get that help, and there is help out there. So I hope that he can turn his life around because he's a really talented athlete.
Well, I mean, time will tell. Let's talk about Jake Paul now. Let's switch gears.
Paul. This is
Yeah.
bizarre. There's another one. Here's another
Yeah.
one we got.
So Jake Paul, it's the Jake Paul effect, and he doesn't care. I mean, he has so many everyone's out to just destroy this guy. Real fighters in MMA, and I say real fight. Look, Jake Paul, in my mind, coming from, you know, I came from a different era. He is not. This never would have been allowed in boxing. Being able to just pick whoever you want to, just cherry pick whoever you want to fight and fight them, and pick guys out of MMA who are not boxers, bring them in the ring and just destroy them. You can't. The commission and the belt sanctions would never allow that back when I was fighting. But now this whole social media, the Jake Paul effect is he can do what he wants because he has such a big social media following, and he's embracing it, and it's pissing off a lot of other fighters. For me personally, as long as we look at this for what it is, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if he's putting asses in the seats, hey man, people decide who they want to go watch fights. So, but I think Conor McGregor or Bisping and McGregor have problems with this guy. So let's watch this video right here.
With another video. With this one, we're going to be talking about Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, because right before Mike Perry and Jake Paul had their press conference, Conor McGregor had a couple things to say. He was out here throwing shots at Jake Paul, and Jake Paul didn't take it very well. And he ended up, you know, talking smack about Conor McGregor, and then he called him out.
Today, Jake, in beautiful Marbella, Spain, there was a press conference, and this fight came up. I don't know if you saw the clip, but Conor McGregor, who's a owner now of BKFC, was hyping up Mike, called you Michael Perry.
BKFC is Bare Knuckle Championship, correct?
I see. BKFC.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is that what that is? He's an owner of it now?
Yeah, bare knuckle fighting champion.
Okay, so I didn't know he had
bare knuckle boxing promotion based in Philadelphia. It's the first promotion to host an official state-sanctioned and commissioned bare knuckle boxing event in the United States.
Right, my friend Austin Trout's actually one of the champions. That's crazy.
Hardcore.
Yeah, he beat Diego Sanchez. Yeah.
Perry said you're doing great things, and he's rooting for you, and he said that Mike is fighting a little dweeb on Saturday. I'm wondering if you saw that clip and if you have a response to what Conor had to say.
Well, first of all, he's big upping the BKFC, but you're going to see what I'm going to do to their best fighter on Saturday night. I'm going to embarrass their whole entire league. This guy has no skill. Those are just brawler, idiot, street fighter dudes who have no idea what the sweet science is. And Conor McGregor can say what he wants, but he won't fight me either. So once I knock out Mike Perry, Conor McGregor, let's run it. But you won't do it because you know what's going to happen. You saw what I did to Nate Diaz, who you went toe-to-toe with. So Conor McGregor, lay off the cocaine, get in the gym, and start winning fights, and then maybe we could have a conversation.
Ouch. Oh, damn.
But yeah, man, Jake Paul was out here talking smack about Conor McGregor. He wasn't holding anything back, and he was saying whatever he had to say. But if I was Conor McGregor, I would not fall for the bait, because Jake Paul is out here just calling out these guys just to make as much money as he can off the sport of boxing. Like, he doesn't care about fighting real opponents in boxing, as far as guys that are ranked in his weight class and whatnot.
He's right about that. He's not fighting.
I agree with that, but me personally, if I was Conor McGregor, I wouldn't take that. But I see.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, people are going to be like, what? But if Conor McGregor would win in the boxing ring with Jake Paul would knock him out.
Yeah?
I'm dead serious. Jake Paul.
You talk about the Jake Paul effect. That's also the Ryan Garcia effect too, because
I'm telling you right now, Jake
Paul started out as a.
Jake Paul will knock out. Jake Paul will knock out Conor McGregor. I'm telling you that. But in the UFC ring, it's a different story. But in boxing, Jake Paul knocks him out probably early. Telling you the truth. Jake Paul's a C fighter. He's a C- fighter. Conor McGregor, especially now after all the partying and everything he's done, he's probably an D or F fighter. Jake Paul has a decent right hand. I've seen him land it. I'm like, okay, no, this kid's got a little something. And he has real trainers working with him. I know his trainers. They're real. So the fact that he's got real sweet science guys working with him, look, they're making millions and millions of dollars. I don't like the fact that they're cherry picking everybody, but I'm telling you right now, Jake Paul will knock out Conor McGregor, and sorry, it's true, but Jake Paul will not knock out anybody in the top 20 of the real division in his division. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense. And as you said, Jake Paul, he started out as a YouTuber doing, dance videos and lip syncing, and then went on to doing the whole like shocking, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 type, just causing chaos, and getting millions and millions of views. And he's transferred that into the boxing ring. You said it, he gets butts in the seats. So, but that's his thing. He's a professional smack talker, I wouldn't expect anything else from Jake Paul. He's a social media boxer for sure.
Reaction to what just transpired.
He light. He flew like 6 feet. But look, Dana White said that he's going to give him a UFC contract if he can knock me out. Well, guess what, Dana? You can rip up the contract because I'm going to up Mike Perry. Anyone you send at me, any one of your MMA fighters is getting up. They've been trying to assassinate me. They don't want me in this sport. They hate that I run this sport. But when you try to assassinate a guy like me, it only makes me bigger, Ariel. I'm on a mission from God. A mission from God. A servant of God to save this sport. And that's exactly what I will keep doing. Keep on winning. Keep on fighting. And guess what, Ariel? I'm going to keep him up tomorrow night. I'm him up, Tampa. Let's go.
Dude, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. But he as much as I hate to say this, as much as he is bad for the sport, he's good for the sport. I'm sorry, but he is.
It definitely is entertaining. That's for sure.
Look, he's bringing light back to boxing, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. I mean, I'm not a fan of him cherry picking everybody, but he's able to do it because he has a huge social media following, and he really is bringing light back to the sport. So hate him all you want. I mean, he's doing more right now than Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is self-destructing.
Jake Paul would have made a great wrestler. That whole thing about the wrestling ring and the arena and the acting and the things that go along with it, he would have shined really brightly.
Yeah, but he likes boxing.
I know, but can you imagine him coming up and his whole spiel and it would have been great, right? I feel like he would fit in really well there.
But let's look at this right here. Bisping talking about, I think he talks about Jake Paul here. This is interesting. how they really feel about this guy.
And I feel like this new era's came in. You've helped to usher it in. You know, fighters can train. They can go to Performance Institute. Fighters also have a lot more of a voice now, whether it's YouTube, social media. My question for you is, do you feel like this new era is good for the sport? Do you feel like guys like Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, it can be detrimental to other boxers with all the social media that's in it?
In the same sentence you mentioned Jake Paul, I would not do that. There's a little bit of advice for me. Don't put Jake Paul and Conor McGregor in the same sentence. Jake Paul's...
Why not? I mean, Conor McGregor is the one talking trash about all these guys. You got to put him in the same sentence.
Not a real fighter. He's yet to have a real fight. He had one boxing fight against a boxer and he lost that. He's not calling for a rematch because...
Well, he's right about that. He's actually right. He did have one real fight against Fury. I think it was Tommy Fury, and he lost that. And so that guy was not even a C fighter himself. So yeah, I mean, there is that. But hey, like I said, he puts asses in the seats. He puts asses in the seats, and he beats up all the MMA guys in boxing. Let's switch over to Sean Kingston, because you brought this to my attention. I haven't paid attention to this guy in a long time.
Yeah, you know, I feel like he hasn't been talked about for a really long time. No one's really talking about Sean Kingston. Then in May, they did a raid on his house in Florida. Okay, so there was a whole raid, helicopters, police, SWAT, everything, right? He wasn't there. His mom was there. His mom was arrested. Sean was gone. He was out at an army base doing a performance, and as soon as he got off stage, they also arrested him. They charged him with fraud, wire fraud, all of this stuff that he was arrested for on suspicion, and now they finally they indicted him and his mom on federal charges. The feds indicted Sean Kingston. Apparently, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, both of them have been sort of defrauding, allegedly, let me say allegedly, a bunch of different people. Like, they found all these TVs, cars, electronics, jewelry, stuff like that in his house that he had taken on loan. Right? Wow. You know, a lot of times, and you see that especially like with the Oscars, people wearing millions and millions of dollars, and what happens is the jewelry company loans them out, and then they bring them back after they're done with their appearance.
No way!
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing. Almost everybody, when you see them, they're either gifted to them. They're not buying all these emeralds and golds unless you're like, I don't know, probably a Kardashian or something like that.
What?
But most of the time, they loan them out. Them and their team will go and they'll get like these huge diamonds from Beverly Hills, these insane pieces, and the celebrities aren't buying them. They're loaned out for the evening, right? They're loaned out for the event. So they can be like, oh, who are you wearing? What is this? Oh, look, she's wearing our necklace, right? And then they bring them back.
Do they get paid to wear it?
No, but they get to wear the necklace.
Right, but I mean, right? but I'm sure they get paid also to wear it.
I'm not sure. A lot of times, especially with the high-end designers, they'll make the clothes for them to get their clothes on that celebrity.
Wow,
especially in an event like the Oscars or the Grammys or things like that. They'll have the clothes made for them for free. And sometimes
Jesse, I never had any idea about this.
Yeah. So Sean and his mom, allegedly what they're doing is their TVs will wire you the money. Jewelry, will give it back to you when we're done with the performance. He's been going on saying, I'm on tour with Justin Bieber. I'm on tour. I'm Sean Kingston. You know who I am. Right. And he's getting all this stuff and not giving it back. Or he's getting stuff like TVs and things shipped to his house where he's supposed to be sending the money, wiring the money. My team is sending you the money, and he's not doing it. That's what the allegations are. Okay. So he's got 5 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, meaning that all of this stuff is done through email, through text message transaction, him getting these things and not paying for it. And during the raid, the guy who owned all the big TVs and who had loaned those out to Sean was like, we never got our money. He was supposed to pay us for this, and he never paid us. This wasn't a rental type situation for a lot of the electronics and cars. It was we're gonna pay
In
you.
other words,
Same
I'm
thing
Sean
with,
Kingston.
a lot of things too with rappers. They'll have Lamborghinis and stuff come to their house, and they'll use them for the music videos, and then they return them to the dealership.
What?
Right? Or we need to. Oh yeah. All of those video cars that you see in like MTV Cribs, when they used to do that, MTV finally copped to it and said we were renting these cars. They didn't own any of that stuff.
Get out of here.
Right.
I
And a lot of times they'll show up.
I am so blown. I mean, of course it makes sense. I just never
and
really
for like
paid
the music
attention to it.
video, so he'll say things like, we're shooting a music video, we need a brand new Benz on loan. They'll bring it to him, and then they won't bring it back. So that's what Sean Kingston's accused of. But almost all the times you see people pulling up in Lamborghinis, in whatever it happens to be, Ferraris, they're rented. Okay, they don't own them. And some of them, the very, very, very big, wealthy ones, they do. But a lot of times it's just rental for the day. It's rental for the photo shoot, rental for the rap music video shoot, rental to show up to this event in a really cool car. The other thing is his mom is being accused of that one of the houses that he is renting of not paying over $150,000 of back rent.
What?
It's an Airbnb and they haven't paid.
Wow.
And that's another thing. A lot of times you see this, especially also with YouTubers and now TikTokers, they're shooting in these big homes. They're shooting in these awesome apartments. They're like, wow, they must be doing really well. They're renting those. Those are Airbnbs. That's not their apartment.
It's all an illusion.
I've seen a lot of people. It's all an illusion. And that is the thing with social media. So when you see these rappers driving these cars, when you see these people, especially the TikTokers, doing these dances in these huge houses, especially the ones that are really impersonal, that don't have all the photographs up and, the pets and stuff running around, this is a rented house. Stop comparing yourself to these people, because half the time they don't even have what you're looking at. And this is the case of Sean Kingston. He has this aura of being this successful guy. I'm making lots of money off of beautiful girls. I'm on tour. I'm doing this. I'm working with Justin Bieber, he keeps saying. And everything's rented. It's all on loan. So this is another case of social media and the aura of celebrity of people living outside of their means. If you can't buy it 3 times, don't buy it. That's my rule.
Massive.
If I see something that I like
bomb.
and I can't buy it 3 or 4 times, I don't have that much back in my pocket, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not one for jewelry. I lose it all anyway. So
right.
That's just
so I'm
me.
just saying. So, but that's like a whole thing. Is a lot of these people, they show up with I got this Rolex, and it's not even theirs. So John Kingston has this whole thing. Now this is just allegations, right? But I think a federal charge is crazy.
So they were keeping all the stuff that's being sent to them. They're just keeping it because I'm Sean Kingston.
Right. Well, so this is what the feds found in his home when they raided him. That's what they found. They found all of this stuff, and there's also other civil lawsuits from these people saying you owe us all this money because we could have been rented this TV out to an Airbnb. We could have been rented this car out. We could have done all this and made money. We could have sold it. Sometimes the cars that they rent out, they'll sell for a smaller price to someone else because it's used car, right?
Right.
So they'll take some money off the top and sell it to someone who has the money, who's rich, who wants a nice car. This has been in this music video, this, that, the third. It's been driven this many miles. It's not new.
So what is he facing?
Go on
20 years? Is he facing 20 years?
20 years per charge.
Oh.
Him and his mom. And his mom was part of it too, they're saying, because his mom was living in the house that wasn't being paid for. They're saying she knew about it. She was using all of the stuff that he was supposed to go to. And let me point out also that in 2006, his mom was also convicted of, I believe it was bank fraud or similar type things. And she did 1.5 years in jail. So this was while he was famous already. This was when he was having his big fame moment. Right? Remember, he came out, The Beautiful Girls. That was what, 2004, 5, 6, something like that. During that, his mom was already allegedly, and she was found guilty. So I think I can say she took advantage of some of his fame as well back then, and she actually went to jail for 1.5 years.
Nothing is as it seems, folks. That's the moral of this podcast here. Nothing is as it seems.
Right. That's like
these
why
right, you
I'm
see
like,
these
I'll
right
show
here?
up to
This is
an event.
copper. Okay, these are copper with magnets. This is, I
know,
mean,
and that's
I lose everything. This is, I mean, I don't buy anything
well, you know what?
expensive.
Marlon Wayans, his house was just robbed a couple weeks ago and he had some cash in a safe and stuff like that. But he said, you picked the wrong house because I'm not one of those celebrities. I don't have jewelry. I don't have gold. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have a lot of stuff. I keep it very simple. I have what I can afford. I'm not walking around flashing chains. Why would you rob my house? I don't have anything here. You want my coffee
Jeez.
maker? Okay.
Oh.
Take my air fryer. So this is a whole thing. So 20 years for each count. Him and his mom.
Oh,
Him
his
and his
mom
mom.
got thrown under the bus. Ouch.
Well, I think she might have. They're saying she's part of it. That she was like co-signing this, right? They used fake documentation. So, and
Man.
his mom should know better because she went to jail already. She should be like, Sean, is this stuff paid for? I don't want to be in a house with stuff that hasn't been paid for. I'll go to a studio apartment. I'll go to another Airbnb. But
So
she was there.
rappers and celebrities rent the bling bling on the red car. That's what they do. They
Most
rent
of
the
the time,
bling bling.
especially on the Oscars, where you look at that and you know it because when you start reading the press from those nights, from the Grammys, from the Emmys, you're like, was on loan. You look at the small print, wearing, a 10-carat diamond on loan from XYZ in Beverly Hills. You got to look for it, and most people don't. It's all an illusion. Now, of course, can they afford it? A lot of them, absolutely, yeah, right? But are they buying it themselves? Probably not. There were I'm not saying that all celebrities do that, but I'm saying that a lot of the times they go, oh, aren't you making money? You've got a #1 hit rap song out. And again, with the social media, people are like, oh, you're famous. You must have a lot of money. Fame doesn't always equal money, and money doesn't always equal fame.
Oh.
And I feel like there's this whole lifestyle. I don't know if you remember, but a few years back, Bow Wow, that rapper, was exposed because he took a picture in front of a private jet. It was like, we're on our way on tour. And then someone caught him in Coach sleeping that same day and took a picture of him. So it's a whole thing.
I see it on Instagram all the time. I mean, there's people that are like
it's not real.
influencers taking pictures of themselves, like, oh, next to a private plane, or they go do photo shoots next to Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And I always think to myself, you look dumb. You look pathetic. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just don't know why people do this to themselves. But 𝗏𝗔𝗻, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a hell of a segment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been fun. This has been real fun. Let's do it again next week, okay?
For sure. I always love coming on and talking to you, Nino. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Hey, so where do people find you?
Oh, yes, of course. Social media. Speaking of social media, I'm not huge on social media. I do post my stories every once in a while and news updates and breaking news at 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. That's 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, D as in David, O, D as in David, D as in David. You can find me there on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. I appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Nothing is what it seems at all. Nothing, nada. Later.